The diet-inflammation gut axis is a fast-moving, high-stakes biochemical drama, one where the plot thickens immediately after you swallow that indulgent, greasy, no-regrets meal. While the flavor explosion may light up your dopamine circuits, your gut is already preparing for damage control. What follows is a finely choreographed chain reaction. Fat enters, inflammation rises, immune function gets compromised, and the gut lining begins to falter. The entire cascade unfolds quickly and can ripple across your body long after your plate is clean. It starts with fat absorption in the small intestine. Dietary fats are broken down into fatty acids and monoglycerides, then reassembled into triglycerides and packed into chylomicrons for transport. This is normal. But when a meal is particularly rich in saturated fat and low in fiber, polyphenol, or antioxidants, the gut's defense mechanisms begin to strain. Saturated fats in excess act as immune irritants. They activate pattern recognition receptors like toll-like receptor 4, TLR4, which are normally reserved for microbial invaders. TLR4 signaling kicks off the production of inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha, IL-1SET, and IL-6. The immune system interprets this high-fat load not as nutrition, but as a threat. This response has consequences. One of the first casualties is IL-22, the cytokine responsible for strengthening gut barrier function, regulating antimicrobial peptide release, and prompting epithelial cell renewal. High-fat meals downregulate IL-22 production, largely by impairing the function of innate lymphoid cells, ILC3S, and altering the surrounding metabolic environment. The very cells tasked with preserving mucosal homeostasis become metabolically overloaded, storing lipids, undergoing oxidative stress, and producing fewer protective signals. As immune function becomes disoriented, structural changes begin. Tight junction proteins, like agglutinin and claudin, that hold gut epithelial cells together become destabilized. Zonulin, a protein that modulates permeability, is released in greater amounts, signaling the gut wall to loosen up. This leads to increased intestinal permeability, commonly known as leaky gut. Now, microbial fragments like lipopolysaccharide, LPS, and bacterial DNA that should remain confined to the gut lumen begin to sneak through the epithelial barrier and into the bloodstream. The body detects this breach and responds with more inflammation. Systemic endotoxemia follows, a state of low-grade, body-wide inflammation that can disrupt insulin sensitivity, liver function, cognitive clarity, and even mood. Meanwhile, the microbiota begins to shift. The fat-rich environment favors the growth of gram-negative, LPS-shedding bacteria and suppresses fiber-loving, short-chain fatty acid-producing species like Faecalibacterium prosnitzi. As the microbial community grows more pro-inflammatory, it begins to reinforce the cycle: more inflammation, less mucosal integrity, and further immune suppression. Even mucus production is affected. The goblet cells responsible for generating the protective mucus layer receive fewer supportive signals, especially with IL-22 in decline. The mucus thins, allowing bacteria to come in direct contact with epithelial cells, a situation that normally triggers immune alarm bells. But now, immune cells are distracted or dysfunctional due to nutrient overload and chronic stress signaling. What results is a gut environment that is both inflamed and poorly defended. Short-term, this may not cause symptoms. You may feel full, sleepy, maybe even content. But inside, your gut has quietly taken a hit. Its barrier is weaker, its immune regulators are confused, and its microbial residents are reorganizing, often not in your favor. The danger lies in repetition. One high-fat meal isn't catastrophic. But if this cascade becomes a regular pattern, weekend feasts, daily fast food, emotional comfort eating, it trains your gut into a chronic state of inflammation and immune dysfunction. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, inflammatory bowel conditions, and even depression or cognitive decline through the gut-brain axis. So here's your final cautionary metaphor. That burger and fries combo might seem harmless on the surface, but metabolically, it's like inviting arsonists into your house and handing them a match. The cascade may begin quietly, molecule by molecule, but by the time you hear the alarm, the fire's already in the walls.